Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint a hibiscus flower. I'm going to be doing it step by step tonight from start to finish. I've got my husband, Mark, with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's been in chat for our live show tonight, so if you've got questions while I'm painting, you can ask those and I'll try to answer them. Let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm using a 10 by 10 inch canvas today. This is the 12 ounce Dixie Pro series from Fredrix. Love these canvases. They're really nice thick sides, so you don't have to frame them. I've got a whole series of them in this large flower series that are this size. So I'm hoping to hang them all someday, maybe. Go over our brushes really quick. I've got a number 6 angle, a number 4 filbert, and a number 1 round in the Summit series from Princeton brushes. These are all Princeton. This one is their Summit 6100 series, and the green handles and the red handles are their VelvetTouch line. I've got a number 1 round here, so you can see that the different series have different sizing. So this is number 1 in this series, but then the number 1 in this one is quite a bit smaller in the red handles. So you can't always go by the actual number of the brush. You kind of have to know sort of how the series runs, if it runs smaller or larger. This is a number 2 script liner, 3/8 inch angle. I like it when they have the inches instead of the numbers because it makes it easier. 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch angular shader, and then a number 6 filbert. So the 6 filbert looks like it's about 1/4 inch also. So just a small filbert, a little bit larger filbert for some of the bigger areas, and then a few different sizes of the angle brushes. That's pretty much going to get most of our areas. I've got the smaller round brushes for some of the veins and some of the smaller details in here. I've got our puppy in the other room crying already. So Mark may have to get the puppy pen and bring him in here with us.
We'll see.
He's feeling left out. I think he can hear me talking now. I was talking earlier, so he wasn't crying before the show. All right. We thought we were going to get away with it. Let's go for colors. Got carbon black. That's mostly just going to be for the background. Burnt umber yellow, cadmium yellow light. Oh, I didn't put out my yellow oxide. I meant to do that.
Okay, well, I'll do some filler. Hi, this is the annoying guy voice filling in.
All right, there we go.
Back to your regular schedule program.
Burnt umber yellow oxide, cadmium yellow light, cobalt teal, phthalo blue green shade. This is light phthalo blue, so this is just this color plus white. And then this one is ultramarine blue right here plus white. So this is light ultramarine and light phthalo blue. Phthalo blue ultramarine, and then this one is Quinacridone Magenta, Unbleached Titanium, Titan Buff, and Titanium White. Really, either one of these is going to be fine. I'm just kind of starting to try out the Titan Buff for my own purposes, so you don't have to have both those colors. And then this one is gloss glazing liquid, just to help us with some of the blending. All right, so I just decided to go with a blank white canvas since this has got a lot of lighter colored petals. I could have done like maybe a light yellow. I thought maybe that would have been a good undertone, or even like a light orange you could do. But for now, we're just going to do this. I'm not going to draw it tonight. I have the traceable available. You can take a screenshot of it and trace it yourself if you need to from the opening screen, but I'm just going to get right into it because we're working on a Tuesday night and Mark wants to go to bed by 9, so we're going to, and knowing me, sometimes these take like 3 to 4, 5 hours, so I'm hoping to keep it to 2, so we'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. All right, I'm going to grab in some white, and we're just going to start right in. I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow oxide and a little bit of the cadmium yellow light. You can see how much that cadmium yellow light tints this color, and I'm just going to go ahead and start in. I'll probably just go in with kind of a medium-ish yellow color, and then we will add the white streaks to it as we need to and into the shadows and things, but I'm going to go right up along that edge using the edge of that brush to work that paint in, and then just pulling towards the center. I'm going to be, as I'm working, I'm going to be always mindful of the direction that these petals are growing. So they're always going to be kind of pulling down towards the center of the flower. Right here, there's a white section, so I just grab some white, filling that in right there where it's folded over. And I did blue because I just thought it would be easier to see some of these edges with this blue. But if you're having a hard time covering it, you could use a yellow or another color there for your outlining. It doesn't have to be this exact color, just whatever works for you. Don't use graphite pencil. You want to use sort of a water-soluble pencil or chalk or something like that. Pastel works, any of those. Okay, so just kind of pulling it, and I'm really kind of going probably too far down to the middle here because it's going to transition to blue somewhere in the middle here. So mainly just needing to get some yellow along this outer area here, getting some of the brighter yellow. Every now and then I'm picking up a little bit of that white to kind of tone it down. And I'm working this larger brush because it's just going to make it easier to fill in some of these larger areas at first. And then when we get to going into some of the smaller details, then we can switch to a smaller brush. But so just kind of get that paint on there quickly.
Man, 1 down, 4 to go. We're almost done. You were zipping along here. You didn't tell me you're just going to paint it yellow and be done? Okay. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't had much sleep in the past 2 weeks, but doing okay, surprisingly.
You got an infant in the house?
Yeah, I do. I have an infant puppy in the house. It is just like having a child in the house. So, but he's worth it. He, for some reason, has adopted Mark, though, as his favorite person in the world. So, seems a little unfair since I was the one that wanted him in the first place, but oh well. Not bitter or anything.
I'm just saying, who was out playing fetch with them before the show started?
Yeah. Somebody was working, so.
Excuses.
All right, so every now and then here I'm going in with a little bit of this light phthalo blue. It's just got a little bit of a greenish tint. You can see it's tinting that yellow. I want to keep everything nice and wet while I'm working so that it doesn't dry out on me. And just going to pulling in from the top here and going over some of these areas that I've just done with this kind of greenish tint. You can see that. It's very subtle. Get some more of that white along that edge right there. Oh, I went all the way outside the flower right there. I didn't even notice. Oh well. That's the nice thing about doing it this way is without that background filled in, we can kind of be a little bit less careful with our brush strokes. Just get them on there, this first layer, and then worry about outlining everything with that black after the fact.
That's one of the more stressful times for a lot of your followers.
I don't know why. It's not. I know. We always get comments about it, but it's really not. I don't find that to be the harder parts of doing anything. It's like this is harder than going around with a solid color. When you're blending, it's a lot harder than going around it. But maybe maybe not for everybody. Okay, getting some white here. I'm just kind of going over that blue edge. And really, when I put my black on and any of this blue is still showing, I'll just go over it then with the black. So I'm going to do the ones here, though, that are going to be still visible. I'm going to make sure that they're getting covered. Getting some white here. Just going to pull along that edge out, cover that blue. There we go. And do the same thing here. I think I'm going to take my paper towel and wet it down and just dab over. This is a water-soluble transfer paper, so it'll thin. I'm just going to kind of soften these lines a little bit with some water so they're not so hard to cover. Kind of tricky. You don't want to do too much so you can't see it. There we go. Really just dabbing. So if you rub it, it will definitely come off. So if you kind of just dab at it, it'll only take a little bit of it off. Okay, better. Get some more of that yellow and white. Over here, it's really yellow, so I'm going to go straight with yellow and white instead of adding the yellow oxide. You can see the yellow oxide makes it a little bit of a warmer yellow up in here, more of an orangey color. Down here, I'm going to keep it a little bit more of that brighter yellow. And I'm not using a lot of paint, so this is going to dry very quickly for me. I'll be able to layer over the top of it. But when you're doing this kind of layering, it's good to start with your lighter colors. Just make it easier to build from your lighter to the darker colors, I find. So down in here, there's going to be a little bit of the darker yellow. So I'm going to go right up along this with a bit of the yellow oxide mixed in. Same thing right here. Not really yellow oxide, but it's close enough. While that's wet, I'm just going to grab some of my lighter yellow and dab right up next to it. I would start with the darkest color where you want it to be most vivid, and then so right along that edge, and then just blend out a little bit. Let it, before it dries completely, then go in with your next color that you're blending into it, and you shouldn't have any issues with it blending as long as you don't have too much paint on your canvas here, or as long as it didn't get dried too quickly. I'm going in with this yellow, but there's not a lot of the yellow on that part of it, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it in there. So kind of an undertone for everything. Right in here, there's a little bit of this blue, so I'm going to get that phthalo blue and some white. Do it down in here. Just put it where I want it brightest, right along that edge, and then pull it in. I'm just very lightly brushing it over this yellow that's already there, and it's blending it in a little bit. So kind of turning green, but that's okay. We can add another layer of it. Let's go ahead and put some of it over here. Oops. Okay, I need to move my mic down back because it just got hit the brush. Okay, I'm going to grab some pink, magenta there, and white. Lots of white. This is still probably a little too bright. A little bit tough to kind of fit in there, but I think we got some white. Go along here with that. Blend it down into that pink. Same thing here, a little bit of brighter white right along that edge. Just picking up a little bit of the white just right on the tip of this brush and not blending it in. I'm just going to set it down and kind of pull it in. So it'll go in a little bit thicker, a little bit more opaque, and then just blend out that edge so blends in. Okay, it's good. Still have some of that white on here, so I'm just going to use it, and then as I press down a little harder, it's going to pull off some of that pink that's still on my brush. Just do it along here. Get some more of that white.
And you are focused.
Yellow. Yes. Are you trying to get my attention?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to get it done today. I wanted to. You can see how it's blending here, making that kind of a coral color with that yellow as I'm picking it up. It's really pretty. That's going to be our middle color where these two blend together here. So I'm going to go over this white here. This white is still wet right in here, so I'm going to do this quickly so that if you're a little slower getting this on, what you'd want to do is put your white on and then get your yellow and blend this in immediately, or you could pick up a little bit more white if it's dried and come back over it with the white into the new color that's been put down. So either way, but you just kind of want to, when you're blending, you want to make sure that you're working with two wet colors. It's just the only real way that it works. Okay, I'm going to get some, unless you're dry brushing over it, but it's a whole nother look. I'm getting some more of that pink, and so like right in here I wanted yellow, so I left that open, and I'm going to pick up the yellow and just brush it over and blend over that area between the two, and it's just going to kind of softly blend those two together. Okay. And I'm feathering out these edges, so anywhere where I'm leaving this color to blend in later, like in here, all these areas here, you can see how I'm just kind of lightly sort of brushing it so that I'm getting these kind of soft, wispy, broken lines, and that will make it so much easier later when we blend back over it, not to have like this solid, crisp, hard line to have to blend out. Make it much, much easier for us to blend into it.
And which brush are you using?
This is the for Filbert, I believe. Yes.
Numero 4 Filbert.
Yeah, about a 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 inch. Let me see. 3/8 inch looks like. But long. It's longer. It's pretty long in this Summit series.
It's the cleanup Filbert.
What do you mean by that?
Kind of like a baseball reference. The person batting fourth is cleanup.
Ah, okay. I would not have gotten that unless you explained it.
Okay, you have to brush up on obscure references, honey.
Baseball sports references. Okay.
Yeah, so let's try this again.
Grabbing some glaze here. I'm going to go back in over the top of this. It's dried. Just blend a little bit of this pink in while I've got it on my brush. Got it blended over here, and I'm just going to let it kind of streak in now. This is dry. The yellow's dry. So this is what I was saying. The dry brushing. This is the different look. It's going to be a little bit more broken look. So if I want to blend it in a little bit more smoothly, I can get more of my yellow and get more here. And I still have some of this color on my brush, so this pink, so it's kind of mixing with it a little bit, but I can blend back. I want to let me wipe this pink out, so I have more just the yellow here. So I can blend over that wet edge there in the opposite direction and blend that pink into the yellow. And just leaving streaks in the direction that I'm seeing these petals, these streaks in my petals happening. There's some dark pinkish color right here. Put the yellow oxide earlier. Okay, I'm going to leave that. Let's just keep on making our way back. Actually, let's just finish this petal and then we'll make our way around. So I'm going to do the pink right here. Get that yellow. Blend some of it in. It's that really pretty coral color. Yellow, white. The puppy playpen's in the garage. Did he fall asleep? Huh? He's fell asleep. Oh, good. Mark. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Mark took him out to run just before the show to get him really tired so he'd sleep through the show. So good job, honey. Are you ready to sleep through the show, though? That's the catch-22, right?
Well, that was part of the deal.
So kind of makes you want to sleep, right?
Yeah.
You get a nap now, too?
I thought I had told you that. I'm sorry. So if you hear me snoring, don't worry about it.
Just that reminds me, I don't know, I just had a flashback of when we were very first married, when you used to try to stay up late with me. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times Mark fell asleep on the couch with me, just trying his hardest to stay up. I used to get so mad too.
In pre-work from home conditions this year,
yes,
I would, I usually go to bed at 9 o'clock and get up early.
Right.
And, Monday, Tuesdays, doing good. Wednesdays, I'm starting to falter. By Fridays, it's, 8:15 and I'm falling asleep on the couch.
Right.
Because that's how I party on Friday nights. And I'll wake myself up snoring or something, and Angela will say, "Why don't you go to bed, honey?"
Yeah.
And I argue, "No, I don't. I just get up and go."
Like, what? You do? Okay, no, you don't. Yeah. I've learned not to take it personally when he falls asleep watching my favorite shows. After 30-something years of marriage. And then he doesn't expect me to get up at 6 a.m. with him, so it's a win. It's a win-win. Or it's all good. All right, it's just going in here with this. These pinks going back in through. You can see what I'm going to do here as I work. You may want to, if you're going to be painting along with me later, you may want to get yourself like a notebook of some sort to keep track of the colors that I'm mixing. Because what I'll do is I'll mix them in a certain area and then I'll go back in and remix it from some time to time and then add other colors in there. And I don't always like say exactly what that mixture is. Right now, these are pretty simple mixtures. This is just cadmium yellow light with white here. But I do have some of this magenta over here with white that I've been adding to it from time to time. I added it over here also. And then here that had that phthalo blue with the white, the light phthalo blue with the white over here, adding it to the yellow color. So, as I go along and add and mix new colors, sometimes it can get kind of overwhelming, and I'll get comments saying that I don't say what colors I'm using all the time. Well, that's because I'm mixing back into stuff that has 4 colors already in it. I can't, every time I pick up a new color, I don't say, okay, this is Quinacridone Magenta, white, and cadmium yellow light. I don't, if it's already been mixed over here, I don't always, I'll say it the first time I do it, but then I don't always say it, reference it when I pick it up again later. So just to let you know, that might be helpful. I've found to tell people to do. And then you don't have to leave me a mean note. Somebody left me a note. It was like, it was like an intermediate painting. Didn't say anywhere on the title or anywhere that it was beginner at all. But they decided that it was beginner for some reason and left me a really mean note because they tried it and they couldn't do it. And it was like their second painting. And I'm like, okay, dude, first of all, that's not my fault. I do my best to teach you, but I'm not sitting there next to you to be able to, walk you through it like I would if you were an in-person class. But I do my best. And second of all, if it doesn't say easy in the title and it's like a 3-hour painting, it's probably not for beginners. That's pretty much.
Okay, well, if I was to take all the letters in the title of this painting and rearrange them, it does the easy.
It's got it in there.
Yes. So,
Okay. So, just saying, it's not, I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it a million times more, but painting is just like anything else. It takes time to learn it, and you're not going to be able to do an expert painting on your third time around or first time around or second time around. It's unreasonable to expect that of yourself and of me as a teacher. I'm not teaching to beginners here. This is not a painting that I'm, expecting a beginner to be trying. If I was teaching it to a beginner, first of all, I wouldn't try to teach this to a beginner. It's too complicated. There's just too much blending and things that would have to happen. So this is for the more experienced person who's had, maybe a year of painting, maybe 6 months. I don't know. Everybody kind of progresses at their own pace, and they may be ready for this after 2 months if they've painted, 12 paintings in 1 month and they want a challenge. So you kind of have to know what level you're at, but you wouldn't walk onto a black diamond ski course and blame the instructor for your broken leg after you weren't able to do it. Just saying. So I do my best to help you out, and these are free lessons, so don't leave me mean notes, please. Just saying. I get more nice notes than I do mean notes, so I shouldn't act like, that's the only kind of notes I ever get. You guys are awesome to leave me sweet, encouraging notes all the time, so I so appreciate that, because it definitely does keep me motivated and
Okay, I get the
Excited
message. I won't
teach.
comment on the paintings anymore.
Thank you. Stop it. It's not nice. Getting white here. All right. So we've got pretty good blending here. I'm going fast, like I said. I'm kind of trying to, since it's Tuesday night, I'm kind of trying to book it here. So I'm mixing this kind of coral color with the magenta and the yellow, cadmium yellow light. If you don't have the light, you can use the cadmium yellow medium. It's going to be more of an orangey yellow, though. It's not going to be this brighter, vivid yellow. So just kind of know that going in. A lemon yellow or a bright, like there's a primrose yellow, any of those brighter, more greenish almost yellows are going to probably be better for this one than the warmer orangey yellows, although they'll work. It's just not going to have the same intensity in some of these areas. Okay, so I've mixed up some more of the magenta and the yellow over here, and I'm just going to use it over here, and I'm just lightly, very little in my brush. You can see it's not gobbed on there. Just a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of create these streaks that we see in the picture. So I'm just going to use it kind of right in the middle here and go back and forth so that I get a soft line on both sides of it. If I just did it in one direction, I might have a hard edge right here. But if I kind of go back and forth like this, then I'll get that soft wispy on both sides of that line. So it's a little bit easier. Just kind of start in the middle of where you want that line to be and then just rock it back and forth, back and forth. Whoops, little puppy's awake out there. Just heard him cry. Okay. A little bit brighter magenta right here, and I'm probably going to have to go in even brighter right there. All this down here is going to be that brighter magenta. Pretty. Let's get some of this yellow and put it right in here. Kind of lost that edge that I had in there. But I added my pink. Okay. It's coming along pretty good. Get a little bit more of the magenta. Now, as we transition into the blue, we're going to want to keep away from our yellows because we don't want to influence the blues. We want to keep them nice and vivid. If we have the yellow in there, in the mix with the purple and purple color, yellow and purple are opposite on the color wheel, so it'll make it a dull color. So just make sure you're not getting into your yellow. Make sure you clean out your brush really good when you start this step. So we're going to start with the bright magenta here, get some white that is not tainted by our yellow, and put it all over here. And I'm going to leave kind of a little bit of the bright magenta to work into if I need it a little bit brighter in some areas, which I probably will. And I'm going to go ahead and mix up a pretty good amount. I'm just kind of going in and adding more white as they come out here. So I've got sort of several different levels of that color, kind of a gradient going from the darker to lighter colors here. And then I am going to scoop up some of this and bring it over here and just smush my brush down, try to get off some of that color and get a little bit of this yellow and mix up some more of my orange. And because So I might need this to blend between the, this is that salmon pink color. And if I scoop it up and kind of lay it out in a big spot here, I'll have a longer time to work with it before it dries on me. So I'm just going to wet that down there. I am going to grab a little bit of my magenta here while I've got this color on my brush. And I'm going to come in here, and there's a couple areas right in here that have a little bit of the brighter color. I'm going to wipe that off. And then I'm just going to blend through that color. Boy, that dried fast. Dried so fast. That dried almost as soon as I set it on the canvas. So I'm going to get some of that yellow. That should have given me a little bit extra time. So probably, that tells me my paint was a little bit dry. My brush is probably getting a little bit dry too. So there we go. If I get a little bit of the glazing medium, that'll help. There we go. A little bit of darker color there, a little bit of the darker color here. And then there is some darker under here too. I'm going to get right here. Get it quite dark. Right in there, and then immediately blend out into some of the color. Get a little bit of that, tap it in, and then get a little bit of my yellow. So always kind of trying to transition just a blend of the next color that you're blending it into. So by the time I get to this yellow over here, I'm just using yellow to blend over this. And I can just pull out just a little bit. So I've got a little bit of a dark edge right there. Got a pretty good dark edge going over here. Get a little bit more of this and pull it in just a little bit right there. And then right up underneath here, I'm going to get some glaze right up underneath here. There is some of this darker salmon. Kind of a shadow right underneath there. Just pull it down, set it where I want it the darkest, and then pull it down, blending it out a little bit. Wipe that clean, get a little bit of the yellow, and tap off that edge to blend it in. Now, this is a part that can be kind of tricky for people, so just take your time. It may take you 4 or 5 layers for it to get looking the way you want it to, and that's okay. Just however many layers it takes. Don't freak out if it doesn't look good on the first layer. It's gonna probably look worse before it looks better. I call it the ugly stage. Every painting goes through it, and some are worse than others. Mostly flowers don't have that bad of an ugly stage, I find. But sometimes when you're doing stuff like blending like this, they can tend to kind of look funky for a little bit until you get everything blended in the way you need it. Get all your colors on there. Okay, so I just wiped off what I had on here, and I'm grabbing just some glazing medium, and I'm just going to blend in with that and pull down from this edge here. That first layer just wasn't quite dark enough. So, oh, got Puppy on a leash. I can hear him. Fitzpickles, what you doing? We got a, how old is he now? 10 weeks old? No, he's not 12 weeks. He's not 12 weeks. He was born May 25th. How old is that? For 12 weeks? Oh my. Come here, buddy. Come here. You want to say hi? Oh. There's a tail. Tail for you. Hey. Oh, what you doing? What's it doing? You want to look up here? Oops, here. Okay. Look over there. There we go. There we go. Oh, he's like, what are these smells? What are these smells? Oh my goodness. He is a little firecracker, I'm telling you. He is keeping us on our toes. Okay. You go, buddy. Super cuddly though. I love it. He loves kisses. He loves to snuggle. He wants to be right where we are all the times. Cavapoo. What you doing, buddy? His tail's just wagging. Okay, so now I want to see how many weeks he is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Mark's right. He's 12 weeks. 12. He said 12. I hate it when he's right. Wow, so we've had him for 3 weeks? Does not seem like that. There's the lack of sleep talking right there. Okay, so going along here a little bit, I'm going to do that same dark color. It's going to look really dark at this point, but we really need this contrast. Otherwise, it's going to look flat. We need to have these darker areas even in our light colors, like the yellow. Got to have it. And our cat Cashmere, who is like 15 years old, has not killed the puppy yet, so that's all good. She's not warmed up to him yet, but she's not leaving the room in disgust every time he comes around either anymore. So. All right. White and yellow. Cadmium yellow light here. Gonna go right in here with a little bit of the bright yellow over the top of that. You gonna put out the baby? Oh, I don't know what he's doing. Closing the door. This is going to be real interesting, especially, thankfully, Mark's home right now, because otherwise Thursdays are going to be real. I have a Thursday live stream that I do by myself, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it when Mark goes back to work full time. Hopefully he'll be settled by then. Okay, let's get some of the yellow oxide with this cadmium yellow medium or light here. I'm going to turn this around. I'll make it easier to kind of pull this color down. Just going to tap it in right along that edge, just like we did before. And take most of it off. Get a little bit of that glazing medium. Just come right up to it and pull it down and blend it down into. You could use water instead of glazing medium if you don't have it, but glazing medium works well. So. All right, that's good. That's a little bit bright yellow, but we'll see. We may like it later. We'll see. Okay. Not 100% sure I like that color, but Just going to let it dry and see what happens. All right, so let's go blend in just a little bit more of this color up here. Purple, pink color up through the middle here. Get some white and some of the yellow. And I still have this pink in my brush, so it's kind of made that kind of light coral color. I'm just kind of blending in the opposite direction to blend it in. Mark's setting up the pop-up tent. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Those pink areas, the yellow looks good. This one we can glaze it later. I'll probably glaze a little bit of blue in that area. But let's go ahead and start with the blue areas. So wipe this down just one more time. Our blue's mostly going to be this light ultramarine. I'm going to add some white to it. And some of this phthalo, light phthalo. And start in the middle here with that color, kind of the more greenish of the colors. I've got my center flowers kind of marked out, but probably going to end up painting over most of those. Let me go ahead and paint them in kind of with yellow oxide. Just these kind of 5 little sections here. So even if I paint over them, they'll be kind of hopefully visible somewhat underneath this paint. And I'm going to get some phthalo blue and cobalt teal. He's so abused. Okay, in here. As they come in, they kind of twist a little bit. So. And then down here, I'm going to get this black here. Down in here, there's this black. Just right there. Right here. Okay, get some white. Going in between here. Okay, so I'm getting into some of these tighter areas. Uh-oh. Oh my. Wow. Somebody is throwing a temperature. Am I still on mic? Okay. Oh no. Okay. Poor Mark. Okay. Doing the light, the phthalo blue kind of right here as it comes down to the center, and then that ultramarine blue coming up. This really transitions pretty fast here. It's a very subtle change. So I'm going to switch. Let me go ahead and switch to the angle brush. I think this one will do. So we've got this pink that we mixed before, hopefully still, yeah, a little bit of it, and getting that phthalo or the ultramarine blue. Sorry, I don't know why I said phthalo. Ultramarine blue. I do maybe want a little bit of the phthalo blue. Let's see. Okay, so that's going to make the magenta or the violet that goes in between. I'm going to get the ultramarine blue. That's going to make a more intense color. Ultramarine and Quinacridone Magenta. There we go. So I got kind of more of a reddish version, and then over here will be more of a purple version. Kind of right in between is really what I probably need. Okay, so this is probably going to be one of the trickier transitions, is right in here between this purple and lay down a little bit of that purple. Get a little bit of that ultramarine blue. Blend that in down here. Kind of over it, pull it down into use that lighter color right in the middle. And then right here, I need to blend out some of this color that I have mixed. Some of this. And then a little bit of the magenta, just the magenta. Because that's kind of the color that's in both of them. It's in that coral color and it's in this purple. So the magenta will be our transition color. Just magenta and white. Get a little bit more of that red. Magenta. Where is he? He's outside. Okay. Mark's going to be in and out all night, I can tell already. Get him a little puppy playpen so we can take him outside and he's safe. We had him in here last week and he did fine. I think he's just overtired. Oh well, you don't want to hear more about the puppy, sorry. It's my own fault for don't know why I thought I could do live shows with the puppy. Seems pretty ridiculous when I think about it now. Alright, so that blue, ultramarine blue kind of makes kind of a really pretty royal blue. It's kind of mid-tone. It's not too purple, not too green. And then I've added a little bit of the cobalt teal there, but I think I want it more of the kind of middle of the road color. Maybe even a little bit more on the ultramarine blue side. Yeah. Get a little bit of white here. I'm going to start to kind of slowly work this upward. And I'm going to streak it as I do somewhat. Again, that phthalo or the light ultramarine, some glaze. What's up? Okay.
Pretty much do it.
Did he? Oh, cute. Okay, so right in here, I need that purple color. So I'm going to put some of that in. Kind of blend it all out. It's really kind of a fuchsia color too, or like a bright fluorescent almost color. It's going to be kind of hard to get that same intensity with this because we're having to use white to tone it down. That always kind of dulls the color a little bit. But we can maybe try to glaze back over. So getting some of that. Magenta there. See, then it really is yellow right there. So very small area right here where it turns kind of purplish. Just gonna push that back a little bit with the paper towel. Blend that back out. Soften it up. See how that did? Okay, so that looks better now. I'm gonna get this dark blue, get some of that phthalo blue straight up. Use it right down here, really dark. And then also right here. Okay, getting some of the lighter color and blending that out a little bit. So you can see how I've got kind of a line right here. So I'm just going to get some white and go back over this. Soften it up. Okay, so like right in here, it turns this purple color. So I'm going to get that purple. Transition to that. Get some white. These colors are starting to dry on me. Get some ultramarine blue and magenta here. Just straight up. And let's use a little bit of white to see what color we've got. So that needs to be more pink. Let's try more blue over here. That actually may be closer with the more blue. Let's try that with a little bit of white. Mixing up some more of the magenta. This is all dried out over here on me. Okay. And get some of this purple in here. Mix up some of the darker. Add just a little bit of the phthalo blue. Okay. Use a little bit of the glaze here with this. You can see how it's kind of showing through some of this yellow, which I like. I'm just going to use this paper towel to kind of continue to brush back some of that color. Get a little bit of that pink. Transition between this over that blue with the pink. Use some water here to pull some of it off. He's just not having it tonight, is he? Is Spencer out there?
No, Spencer went to work. I think that's what woke him up.
Oh, no. He realized he was out there by himself. Now he's kind of freaking out. All right, so getting some yellow. Ooh, look at how pretty that is. Go back over some of this with the yellow. I'm just going to have to excuse the dog barking in the background. Sorry, guys. It's okay. We'll deal with it. Pink, mixing it with that yellow. Just blending them together right here. Or we already did this here, but just gonna blending it back again. So we put the blue up, and now we're bringing that pink down and kind of working that transition here to make it a pleasant color. It's kind of, I want to go muddy, but oh my gosh, dog. Yeah, okay, good. It's barking up a storm. Get some pink right here. Wipe that off. Just gonna blend that out a little bit. Getting some of that Phthalo blue going along that edge just to kind of add some of that blue tint up here. There's a little bit of it right here. And a little bit of it right here. Okay. Pretty color. Okay, what time is it? 7. Okay, so we're making decent progress. Let's keep on looking here so we don't get stuck, bogged down in one area too much. So I don't love this purple that I'm doing in the transition, but it actually kind of worked out just to kind of let the magenta and the ultramarine blue mix intermingle while we blended them on the canvas, if that makes sense. So right in here, like it kind of made a more natural color, I think, than trying to mix it together over here. Just really not liking any of those purples that I'm doing there. So right in the middle there, I'm gonna get some of my white and just a touch of the blue. A little bit of that phthalo blue light and come right up the middle. And it twists as soon as it comes up. It kind of comes up this way and twists up like that. Okay, so let's leave that. See if we like it when we get some of these other ones done. Might grab a little bit of the ultramarine. Using that light ultramarine to kind of blend back through. Okay. Getting there. This blue area is trickier than I thought it would be. There's a lot going on in it.
Yeah, but you're showing it who's boss.
Thanks. Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
It's not going to be as vivid as the reference, because the reference is kind of a fluorescent color. So if you have a fluorescent purple, fluorescent magenta, fluorescent blue, probably going to make it a little bit closer to what's in the photograph. And we're not using fluorescence tonight, so it's not going to be quite as vivid, but just kind of know that that's what you'll have to do if you want it to get closer to that intensity of color. This is that magenta there. Just going over this blue and glazing back over it is creating closer to that purple that I want than this. You can see how the different that glaze color is to that, which same colors, but look how much duller that color looks because we've added white to that. So this has white in it underneath, but because we're going over it with this, and this has white in it too, but even if we use just straight magenta with some glaze, it would even be brighter and more vivid. So we may just do that over in here and see what happens. Yeah, see how much brighter that is. So let's try that over here. I'm gonna go ahead and glaze in that magenta right here.
Somebody's asked, can you use a peach to blend in where it comes together?
A what?
Peach? The peach color.
Yeah, I did use a little bit of that peach before right in here. And I'll probably add just a little bit of it again once this layer dries. We're having a major freak out moment with the puppy tonight. He's not. Why don't you just hold him in your lap, honey? Can you do work with him in your lap? No? I'm probably creating a bad child. You didn't leave enough home alone at all. Just It's 3 weeks, so it's probably. Pretty bad. Okay. Wiping that off. You just kind of going in, reassuring them every now and then.
I turned off some of the lights and turned on the dehumidifier to try to simulate some bedtime conditions.
Let's see.
Do you think that this flower is photoshopped in any way?
It might be. I did find other photos of a similar color flower though, so I think it is a hibiscus of some sort. It's just they may have enhanced it somewhat.
How much do you think the flower pays for photos?
It was the model, so I think it got paid.
Oh, okay. So now it's shopping its photos around?
Right.
I'm so confused.
It's got a portfolio with its images in it that she takes around on all the model shoots.
Did it have a MUA?
I don't know any. For those who don't know, that's a makeup artist, right?
That's what we think it is.
I think so. We've been watching Glow Up on Netflix. Or I should say, I've been watching. Mark's been on the couch at the same time.
Playing the tank.
Yeah.
Catching bits and pieces between games.
And making fun. So
me? No. It's all legitimate. I was just trying to understand the MUA.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've just spent a half an hour on one petal. Let's move on.
Sounds like a plan.
And now that I kind of have a plan, I think I know how to tackle these. First one always takes a bit longer. Go a little bit brighter right in here. Okay, so getting this light ultramarine blue here. You can see how it's like breaking up right here. That's because my brush doesn't have enough water and my paint's starting to get dry. So just need to add a little bit more moisture and it won't leave those kind of white spots in my canvas where it's not penetrating. Okay, so about that. It's kind of a fan shape, sort of like this. Out. And then right in here, I'm going to start gritting that magenta and just going over. Let me wet my brush out. The magenta and white. Got that coral in there. Didn't want that. I don't want coral. I just want the magenta.
Settle down, Coral. It is not your turn.
Back off.
We will put you with the sea foam.
With the sea foam? What are you talking about?
It's the only other pastel color I know.
Okay. When we were using sea foam.
See, I don't even know what color it is, so I just heard a word, so.
Okay. It's even funnier. Okay, so where are we at? having it upside down, I couldn't tell where I was at. Okay, so we're in here. So these are coming up to those purple, pink areas right here that we kind of already sort of started. Wiping that off, getting some more of that blue, going back over with the blue. And as it touches that pink, it's going to merge, create a new purple color. Okay. Keep going back to the color. Stop doing that. Stop it. Getting the light phthalo blue. Going kind of right in the middle of that. Down here. Here. Okay, I think I'm just going to kind of go in and do all these blue areas, and then what we'll do is let that dry, and we'll come in with the yellows at the end and kind of blend everything in. Okay, so there's that blue, and then the magenta right here. When the magenta goes all the way up right there.
So have you talked any about Patreon?
I haven't. I have not.
They added a new feature.
They did. We've been asking for it for several years. We've been on Patreon for 3 years now, and they've finally added yearly. So if you are, especially it's helpful for those who are in foreign countries, because they have to pay VAT tax, pretty high taxes every month. And this way, if you know you're going to be, sticking with it for a year, you can just pay one time, pay the tax once in one lump sum. You don't have to pay it the monthly. It's less tax overall, doing it that way.
Nice.
Yeah. Less tax, less fees, because, you get charged a credit card, or I get charged a credit card fee every time. I think it's charged to me, not you.
Yes, it's charged too.
It's taken out of my fees every time a credit card's used. So now I only have to pay that once. And it's a, kind of I think it's a capped fee, or, maybe a small percentage. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but anyhow, it's less than it would be if you did it every month, kind of thing. So, yeah. So, if you're a current patron and you're interested in that, you can head on over there. Or if you're thinking about signing up, it's a good time to do it. You don't have to. You can still do the monthly. It's not required or anything. It's just in case you wanted to. I've been asked several times about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And some people have already taken advantage of it.
Yeah, we've had several taken advantage of it already this month. So, just today, since I posted it. So it's pretty awesome.
When they join Patreon, what do they get?
All kinds of stuff. Well, for
puppy,
the $1, you get pictures of the puppy.
Oh, not the puppy itself?
No, not the puppy itself. Mark's like, can we give away the puppy?
Just saying, if we run out of things to give away.
It's only week 3 and Mark's already like, yeah, and why are we doing this to ourselves? Trust me, when I'm getting up at 2 a.m. to take him out, I'm thinking the exact same thing.
But anyways, so there's a $2 level of Patreon that has traceables.
Right.
And it's all the traceables back to February 2017.
Right. It includes some of the older traceables. My older traceables before 2017 were public, and so they're on like different places. So
Facebook group and stuff.
Yeah, Facebook group, but I do have them on Patreon too, but it might be a little harder to find on Patreon. But anyhow, so that's beside the point. I'm rambling tonight. You can tell I
And,
haven't slept much.
and then there's a $5 level that gets you the traceables plus a bonus video that's done once a month on a Sunday.
Right. Plus all the old bonus videos. So if you want to check those out, I don't have all of them posted, but I have 12 of kind of the ones, some of the most recent ones that we've done posted on Patreon right now. So you can check those out when you go there and see what you'll be getting. So you'll get access to all the old ones as well as all of the new ones that we do every month. So one a month, like Mark said. So it's a pretty good deal, I think.
And then there's a $10 level, which is all of that plus an additional tutorial that's taught through a private Facebook group, and it's done once a week. You do one painting over the course of the whole month, right?
Right. They do on Thursdays. They have their own private live stream where we paint on the same project all month long. And it's usually probably 8 to 10 hour painting usually every month on those ones. So last month we did a sand dunes. You can show that if you want, but it's the one we did for the $10 group last month. And then this month we are working on a pattern. I'll show that. It's not quite done. We finished the water. So now we got to work on him. He's in the ugly stage, but he'll finish this next week. That's 2 weeks in.
And again, you get access to all the past videos too.
And the $5 level is working on this one. We normally do it in one setting, but this one was 5 hours just to get here. And so we've got another 2 hours probably that we're going to do this Sunday to finish this up. So there's still time to watch part 1 and 2 if you want to check out the $5 level on Patreon and do that. So the ones that we do on Patreon for patrons are just the more detailed ones, take longer. Ones that don't generally do as well on YouTube because they're just so long and it doesn't make sense financially for us to expend all that effort for the low return that we get on YouTube, for the low interest and low in return general. So Patreon allows us, which is really nice. I love the fact that we get to do those kind of tutorials because those are the kind of tutorials I really like to do. The more detailed stuff I really like to get into, obviously. I like to get into details and get kind of work things out. So those are things that we do with the patrons that we don't necessarily do. We don't do on YouTube all the time. But if you're a beginner, they're probably not going to be right for you yet. You may not, be able to be there yet. You're welcome to come and hang out with us, but we'd love to have you. But just, they're mostly for folks who are ready to kind of step it up to the next level. You've done some of my harder ones on YouTube and want a challenge. So.
And then below each one of the videos here on YouTube is the list of all the supplies that she's using, brushes, paints, links to different suppliers where you can buy stuff.
Yes.
Discount codes, social media.
Yeah, and if you you've got some stuff that you are planning on buying for art supplies, it helps our channel just by buying through our links. We've got affiliate links that it doesn't charge you anything extra, but it helps our channel by buying through them. So if you go to any of my videos, really, they're all down in the description. There's links to brush guys. And sorry, this is really not very pleasant.
I'll talk while you scrape. So the brush guys, there's a link down there. There's a code with 5% off Angela Fine Art, all one word. And I guess you said Blick and Amazon.
I didn't.
Okay, so there's an Amazon link also. There's no code for there, but if you purchase anything through Amazon,
even if it's
supports. Not. Right, yeah.
Just follow the link.
So if you want to click that and then buy a tank, we'll get the referral benefit of that. So thank you. Oh, speaking of tanks,
I know. Mark got his
my new mask.
I know. Well, I showed it last week. We showed it last week, didn't we? Pretty sure.
I think I had it last week.
Oh, the new one. Oh, that's
My
right.
new tank mask.
No, I thought you were talking about the one that lady sent you, Bobby.
Yeah, no, not that one. Your painting one.
Yeah. Yes.
Which you can buy masks through the Teespring store also.
Yeah, we now have. Yeah. It should be down below the video too. And some, like if they're watching on computer, there's a mask down in the little thing down there. But yeah, I really like them. Where's yours? Oh, okay.
I'm not going to go for it. The puppy's quiet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true.
It's not safe to go out there. Don't make me go out there.
We don't have the tank one, but this is the lion one. But they're kind of stretchy. They're really soft cotton. I think they're cotton. They might be. I don't know what they are. Let's see. Polyester, shell, and cotton interior. So poly cotton, both. Anyhow, this one's actually really cute. Yeah. So, but I've got over 100 designs on Teespring. So I had a little bit of fun with it. It was over a couple of days. I just kept, well, let's see what this one looks like as a mask. Oh, I like that one too.
To the point, Teespring says, okay, you've reached your limit.
I did so many one day. They made me wait till the next day to add more. Yep.
But anyways, thank you so much for everybody for your support. It's incredible.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, back to painting.
Okay. I feel like, what did I do? Okay, there we go. Because I was like, where is that thing on here? Okay. There. Magenta. So this is going to be yellow here. Let's just kind of work on the areas where we do know we're going to have magenta there. So this is definitely like the ugly stage. You're going to get to this stage no matter what you do with your painting. It doesn't matter, it's always going to have this stage where you're just like, I don't think I'm doing this right, and you'll just kind of start to doubt. And that's when people tend to go off the rails and start to fix it. And that's when you'll really have issues with these kind of tutorials when you're following along. If you try to fix it and do something that I'm not doing, you're not going to end up with the same kind of results as I'm getting here. So just kind of know that going in, just to kind of trust the process. I will work it through with you. If you do what I'm doing, we will get to the end and it'll look good. But if you go in and like kind of get halfway through and start panicking and try to fix it and do something that I haven't done or add colors or do, just kind of, not that you can't do that. I mean, it's your painting. Do what makes you happy with it. And if you want to change the colors, by all means do it. I'm not saying that I'm the only one that's going to be doing this the right way, but, if you want it to, look like mine in the end, or at least, be similar to mine, then just hang in there. Just follow directions. Don't panic when you get to this stage where it looks really bad. It's normal. Just kind of know that going in, and just kind of like take a deep breath and go, okay, we're not done yet. It doesn't look great now, but we're not done yet. So, if you get to the end and then it still doesn't look good, well, then we can talk about how to fix it. But for now, we're not done. So we're still in the process of adding our layers, and it's just going to kind of look worse before it looks better. So just kind of know that. Don't stress. Enjoy the process as much as you can. Adding some of that darker blue to the center, that'll really help kind of draw the eye down into the middle there, give it a little bit of depth. I keep turning it. Which way does it go? It goes this way. Okay. Keep ending up in a weird, losing my spot. All right, now the light ultramarine blue. Got that yellow down, or the pink down, so I'm just going to kind of go back over that pink. And it's going on very kind of patchy, so I'm going to add some water. This is starting to get a little dry, so it's okay. Remember what we did over here? We used our paper towel that was kind of wet and just kind of tap off that edge. It'll just kind of help blend it a little bit. We kind of missed it right there. We didn't blend that out when we had the chance. Cassie, what are you doing? No, Cashmere's sharing the seat with your dad and Mark. Which, with your dad. Yeah, sorry. I call that, yeah, I know. It's weird. I call it Mark the dad of the animals. So.
Are our kids watching them? Watching us? No.
No. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to paint.
I love you so much.
Tired.
You're in your art brain, plus you're tired, so it's
doubly scary. What's going to come out of my mouth next? Okay, using some of the yellow and a little bit of that magenta there. Ooh, that's bright. Okay, so this is where we can streak back over this edge. I'm going to pick up some of that color because it's still wet, but that's okay. Just blend it out. Okay, it's not bad. It's not, like I said, it's not as super bright as what I kind of hoped for, but it's about as good as we're going to get without using fluorescence. Okay, using the white with the yellow, pull back through. And just streak kind of in between some of these, so we're not trying to cover the whole area. We're just kind of leaving like little pockets of this darker color in between. Pulling this color through, that'll create those kind of lines that we're going for. Now I keep losing my direction here. Okay. Cashmere gonna come over and say hi? What you doing, baby girl?
It's nice to be able to sit in my seat all the way.
Come on over. You want to come see? All the animals getting in on it. Come here, baby girl. Want to see this? Oh, no, she's jumping over to Mark again. Okay, pretty, like it. So I'm gonna pick a couple spots for this white to go. It's gonna dry darker just because the undercolors are gonna kind of seep through, but we can kind of add a little bit of that bright white and getting fairly thick paint here on my brush to tap in these highlights that come through right there. Do it right here. And this is really yellow under here. That coral color. Everything is drying so fast. Don't dry. There we go. A little bit of that coral color right there. Wiping that off, brushing it out to blend it. Okay, oops, that way. Oh, let's see. Okay. So this is actually this petal right here. I'm going to put a little bit of this black right in here just so that I kind of know where this is. It's going to help me define this a little bit better. This is going like right there. I can see that there now. I'm doing. So getting the white and going along that edge there. Oh, look at that. That was water. That was interesting, wasn't it? Okay, let's keep on going here. I don't want to go much later than 2 hours, so I need to get moving on this. So this is coming down like that. There is white coming in right here and right here along that edge. White right here and here along this edge. Tapping that out, blending it out a little bit, and then getting the pink and continuing these lines out with the pink a little bit. So tops of them going to turn pink. Okay, and then getting some of that lighter blue and a little bit of white. Use it kind of right in the middle right there to add some stripes through. Okay. Getting some of the yellow and the coral, and I'm just going to kind of glaze back over this area, just soften that over the top of those veins. It'll kind of just soften them up a little bit so they don't look like they're pasted on there. Okay. How you doing, hon?
I'm doing good.
Good. I'm mixing up some of the coral here. I'm going to use it transition right in here between the blue and the yellow. Use a bit of it.
I was just checking how far Dave lives away from the Great Slave Lake. So we
The
can
what?
go, so when we go participate in a loan, just we can swing by, say hi to him.
So Mark and I have a new favorite show called Alone. It's people doing something we never ever would do in a million years. It's very entertaining. It's been around a while. We're kind of late to the party. This is like season 7, so I don't know where we've been.
We are on the cutting edge.
We are. But since Oak Island is not,
It's
not
it's the filming season right now for them.
It's actually I'm gonna find out who won season 7 Thursday. So it's very exciting.
I would
This is how exciting our lives are.
I would give myself to about day 10.
I would see the first bear and be out of there. I'd be like, yep, no, I'm calling it. Get me out of here. Drop these people off in the middle of nowhere with basically very little supplies, and they just have
If one of my survival items is not coffee, then I wouldn't last like 3 days.
Get a caffeine headache alone will put you out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Uber Eats delivers Starbucks up there.
Probably not. Probably not. Get some pink here. Some yellow over the pink. So you can see I just kind of went back in with some of the brighter magenta here just to kind of pump up that color right there. And then I'm going to get some of this blue, ultramarine blue. Need to make sure that it doesn't have that yellow in it though. I might use the regular ultramarine and see what that does when I glaze it on. Maybe use a little bit of white. Just glaze it in this area here. Because this area is kind of purple. Yeah, that's too dark. light ultramarine white. Gonna use them in my darker areas to kind of start these lines. Some of the magenta, some of the light ultramarine blue. Just mix them together right in here. In that transition area between the colors.
We have a blending question.
Okay.
Is it easier to blend on linen than canvas?
The linen's smoother, so I would say a little bit probably. This canvas has more texture, so it's going to catch and do like this. It's going to have these kind of areas. So I don't say it's necessarily easier. You just have to use a little bit more water in your paint so that it kind of absorbs down in those cracks a little bit. Get on some of that pink and the yellow. So now I'm going to go in the opposite direction here with that. Go over these lines, just blend those out. You can kind of look at where my lines are too and go in between them a little bit. And I've got a little bit of the blue that's up here. So I'm going to get a little bit of the blue and put it up there. And this is where it's probably maybe slightly photoshopped because it may not have that color up there in the actual flower. Who knows? But it's in our photo, so we'll put some in there. Why not? Get some white here. Okay, where am I at? This way right here. I keep losing my spot. Okay, the black is the top. Yes, thank you. Good reference. White. A little bit of pink. Okay, let's keep on going here. So use this yellow-pink combo just in this transition area here. Just pushing back that color and blending that out right there. Using this yellow and pink coral color is my transition. If I see any hard lines, I'm really going to work on those to get them kind of worked out. So like right here, you get that yellow and just going to work through that to smush that out a little bit. And if it's getting too dry, I can add a little bit of glaze or a little bit of water, both. My paints are drying up as soon as I get them mixed over here. When I'm thinning them out like this, they are going to dry pretty quickly. So probably need to be spraying them more often too. Oh, look what I just picked up. I did not want that. So since this is wet, I can just use my paper towel and get that off. It'll come right off. Just push it in there. I don't know that I'm going to need the burnt umber. We'll see. Did that puppy wake again? It's probably good for him to be by himself for a little while. Get used to it so we can like maybe go to the store every now and then. Something like that. Although I think anymore Walmart lets you bring your animals in. I'm not mistaken. I've seen people walking around with their dogs in their carts, little ones. They're probably... How do you get your dog to be a service animal? They have to go through special training or something? Or like, he's my comfort animal. What is that called?
I think you can order the vest on Amazon.
I am not going to be doing that. I'm not a rule breaker. Except for when it comes to speeding. And then I only speed like 5 miles over the speed limit. Within reason. I cried when I got my first speeding ticket, so just say I'm not cut out for crime. Need some white here. I really thought he was going to sleep through this whole thing. Silly humans. Really brighten up that edge. We're almost done, huh? He heard me, didn't he? Got 2 more to blend through here. Adding white streaks. We're just going to have to say this one's not going to be like photorealistic as we do before other times. Just have it be a little bit more in between. All right, so got the pink on here, just using the coral color to blend through. This is really dry in here, so I'm gonna, and I didn't do a very good job here and like feathering it out. I've got some kind of harsh edges, so I'm gonna do it on both of these. Kind of go back and forth between them. Try to get some of this coral in here and then get some of this Quinacridone Magenta with my white. I'm pulling the pink from this side and the yellow from that side so that I'm not getting my yellow in these mixes where I don't want it. Seems to be working out pretty good. So magenta, so a little bit more than the yellow. I'm gonna do it running through here. Yeah, see, I left myself a really hard edge right there. That's what you're not supposed to do because you can see how hard that is to cover now. And get a little bit of blue. Pull it through. And streaks. The blue's going to cover a little bit better than these other colors, so can maybe try to get it to blend some of that out. And I'm just going to have to use white with my yellow here. That is definitely a freak out bark. It's not as like normal bark. Having some anxiety, poor puppy. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. Hopefully not. Pretty loud. And some yellow and the white. Here. Take a fold that comes in. So we're doing okay to get it blended out. Okay, so using the, we already did the coral, so we're just using the yellow here to blend in. There. Magenta, a little bit of yellow. It's going to make this brighter, kind of reddish color. And add a little bit of that white to it. Not sure why I did this one on Tuesday night. Can't ever seem to get through one of these large flowers in under 2 hours. Or 3, really. More. But I'm not. Don't want to go that late tonight. Okay, so let's use some of this color. This is a good color. Let's use some of it in here. That'll help transition these colors. Especially down here, I'm seeing it. pretty bright. And then like right here, I need to wipe that off. So I have it too much paint. So if I blend it over this while it's so thick right here, it would just pull it all the way to my yellow. So by coming at it with a clean wet brush, kind of slightly damp, it'll pull the color off. And I can control it a little bit better. So I can wipe off some more of it and pick it up there. Okay, that's good. Good, good, good. I like that. This is a good color, so I'm going to use it over here. Oh, I hear somebody. Who is it? Who is it? The cutest puppy ever? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, loves, 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 loves. Okay, you're going to bite my brush? You're going to bite it? Okay. Oh, goodness. What are we doing? Daddy's controlling you, huh? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, he's watching. He's watching it. You want to smell it? I know. You want to smell it? Okay. No, you don't bite it. He's watching it over here. I want to get down and get into it. I know. What? Oh, goodness. Goodness. So wiggly. What is Mama doing? He is watching me carefully, like everything I'm doing. Yeah. Over here, getting more paint. I wish you had him on side cam. He's so cute. You can put him on side cam for a second if you want. Okay, you watching? Where's Daddy? Okay, okay, just watch. Watch, I know. What do you think? Oh, goodness. Goodness. All right, all right, all right. Now we're getting into it. He was watching very carefully earlier, but we're getting bored. Going back to Daddy. Okay. Here you go, Dad. Marcus. Having a time of it tonight, honey. I'm sorry. Gonna have to figure out a... Well, at least Spencer hopefully will be home from now on. Maybe. Pay him to dog sit. Her son that was supposed to go off to college this year decided to live at home, which I'm glad for, but I feel bad that he hasn't gotten to get the full college experience yet, but 90% of his classes are all online now, so it really didn't make any sense to pay for him to live on campus to go to school down the road, you know, and work from his dorm instead of actually going to classes. So anyhow, strange times, but that'll be our benefit because he'll be home hopefully more, and we can have him help with the puppy while we're doing these shows. He's not cooperating tonight at all. Okay. Almost there. I really like this. I think this darker red was really kind of the key color. It definitely added a lot to it, and it's creating these good purples here and there. Okay, getting that ultramarine blue. So let's put our lines through, and you can do this with the liner brush if this is not working for you, but it seems to be working okay for me, so I'm just gonna stick with this. So just kind of use the edge, make sure you flatten that out so you've got a good straight line on the brush before you try to do this, because if the brush is kind of splayed out, it's not gonna do a line for you. You can add a little bit of extra water to it if you need to, but these are working pretty good to do my lines for me, and that does not belong there at all. And some of the pink, got making a purple there. It's lifting off right here. I went over it with that watery color, the water, and lifted off the paint that was drying there. Getting some yellow. So we're kind of dirtying up this yellow, but it's good because it's not a perfect pure yellow in the photograph. If you look at it closely, it's got all these colors happening in these kind of yellow tinted areas, but they're not really yellow. They're kind of picking up all these other colors around them. Lighter colors will do that. They will pick up the other colors around them, the reflected light from the other colors. So especially white does it a lot, but seeing that this yellow is doing it somewhat too, where it's yellow, but then in some of the areas it's also kind of other colors in here. And it may not be reflected light here. In this case, it's probably just part of the flower doing it the way it naturally grows. Getting a little bit of the phthalo blue. I'm going to darken up the lines. Going through some of these. These ones. All right, getting a little bit of black here. I'm going to go back in this area. Add that black back in right there. I think there's some right here too, so I'm going to go ahead and put it, even though that yellow is going to cover it up. We're almost there. So let's just transition these two colors a little bit and we'll be good. So getting that ultramarine blue, I'm going to go ahead and get some glaze. And just kind of glaze on this blue over this area. This actually might be a better way of doing it than to go in heavy-handed with the blue, but to put down the pink first and then put the blue over it, possibly. Really the only place that's really blue is right here in the center. The rest of it's kind of blending into the pink. So that's an option. Could maybe try. It's too late for us to do it, but it's kind of doing it here in this area, and it seems to be working. Magenta and the blue. Magenta, light ultramarine, white. Oops, I picked off from the. There's some yellow in that. So let's try to glaze this a little bit. Not bad. And then grab this magenta color for up in here. Get some glaze. Glaze just helps it go on a little bit softer, a little bit more subtle.
So this is that light ultramarine blue in the center.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Ooh, right. White. I really could have used kind of some of this. I'm going to use a little bit of that Titan buff now. Oops. Too much of the purple in there. Get that Titan buff. Go over here to this yellow here. Wipe off most of the brush. Just kind of blend over with this. So Mark can't sit because he got the cat on the chair and the dog in his arms. The animals have taken over the studio tonight. It's awesome. Maybe not for you. It's funny for me. Mark's not laughing. It's like... Okay. Where's my yellow? I don't know where it is. I know I have some. There it is. Just used it. magenta. Worked in with this yellow. Somebody is just full of it tonight. I wonder if his teeth are hurting him. He's cranky like a baby. Sorry. I feel sorry for anybody who came just for the painting because a lot of dog talk tonight. Distractions. This is what happens when you paint live. Can get real sometimes. Real life. I know. Mom's almost done. Oh, man, it's 8. Oh, God. 8:22. Okay, I gotta get this done. Mark's like, yes, please. What? What? Okay. White. It's making me very wiggly. Okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. This is trying to finish this. Just taking a minute. Some of the white here on this edge. Just gonna highlight that. This edge here, even though it's not white in the photograph, I'm gonna kind of bring it out just a little bit. Okay. Getting a little bit of that ultramarine blue with my white here. I'm going to do it on the bottom of this one. And these kind of things with the lighter colors, sometimes it's really hard to see until you get your black on. So you may decide once you get your black on here that you want to, add more color to some of these or change it up a little bit. You'd be able to tell once that, especially these ones along the edge here, you'll be able to see them a lot better. All right, so I'm going to get my round brush here. This is where that burnt umber comes in. I'm going to get a little bit of that burnt umber and the yellow oxide. And a little bit of the phthalo or the cobalt teal here. Some of the yellow. Okay, there we go. All right, so here, right here, right right here. And then in the middle, it's this. I'm going to go ahead and get the yellow and the cobalt teal. It's this kind of a yellowish green. It's not all that dark. It's pretty light. Kind of meets in the middle there. Let's get this brownish yellow. And just going to dab it kind of in and around this whole area here, all the way around this. Like that. Get some of the magenta, add it to the yellow, mostly yellow. Do bright orange. Okay. Go the same areas, just tap in this color, leaving just a little bit of that dark showing. And our light's coming from this side, it seems like. So these ones are a little bit darker under here. A little bit of the brighter yellow to the center there. Let's grab some white. Orangey color. Dab, dab, dab. Now this time, this is our brightest color, so I'm gonna really be a little bit more careful about where I put it. Not as much of it. Let me zoom in. Go. Okay. Gonna get a little bit. This area down here is a little bit darker. Okay. Brighter yellow here. It's just cadmium yellow light. It's a little bit watered down. So I want to be able to see that a little bit of that green through. But that's obviously not dark enough. So I'm going to get some of this color from the, maybe get some of this color around these a little bit. Outline them. slightly. Okay. This is where actually having a little bit of that cadmium yellow medium might have been a good choice, because this is a little bit more of a warm yellow. So I'm going to add a little bit of this that we mixed up with the Quinacridone Magenta. And then grab some of the white. Focus. Get a little bit of the magenta here. Mix that with the, get that coral color. Use some of it in here. I'm really probably adding too much highlight. That's probably what's happening here, because I feel like I don't really like what's going on. Let me get some of the magenta and the yellow oxide here. Use it down in here. There we go. That's better. And then there's these teeny tiny little white, white-ish. It's off white and white. Some of them are actually kind of blue. Let's get some blue and white. Ultramarine blue and white. Now, they're going to have to be enough contrast, is all. So you need to be able to see them against the colors you've got underneath there. But these go out to these little dudes. Just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this white to put in just a few lines out this way. Zoom out there. We'll start our black. I'm not going to finish the black on screen. Like you can fill in the rest. I'll do it after Mark quits, unless you want to keep on going. Okay. I can feel the frustration wafting off of you over there. It's making me tense. Okay, so just using an angle brush because I can get into these little nooks and crannies easier. Can use the tip of it. It's not like perfectly smooth, so I'm gonna mess it up a little bit. Maybe wiggle my brush a little bit as I'm doing some of these lines so that kind of an irregular line there. You can see this like almost dried out. But yeah, I guess we need the payoff, right? Because this is the best part. Getting to see it kind of finished result, huh?
Somebody asked if it would be okay to use a black canvas to do this painting on.
You could do it. I would probably cover the whole flower with either white or light yellow or something like that, because it's going to be hard to get to cover that black, so just kind of know going in that you're going to have to do more layers. If you start with black canvas, you have to do more layers of the lighter colors on top. You could even gesso in the areas that you gesso it white where you're going to be painting the flower, and then paint it. But I tend to, even if you use a black canvas, I'd probably end up doing this anyways on it, because if you went even over just a little bit anywhere and needed to cover it with the black, you would have to use paint, because black, unless you had black gesso to match the exact color of your canvas, which no, I don't think they're all exactly the same. Not all blacks are quite the same, so it's hard to, what happens is you'd end up with a little bit of a mark on your canvas to be obvious where you touched it up. It'd be like if I tried to leave this background white and just painted it white in one spot, it wouldn't be the exact same color as this gesso that's on the canvas. And so if you looked at it in the right light, you'd be able to tell that there was a spot there that was touched up. So with black canvases, I would still paint this just like I'm doing here, but it, it may make it go faster. It may not. I don't know. We're gonna have to work on the separation anxiety thing. He's like freaking out over there. Come together. probably, I can see, I mean, I probably could go in and glaze a little bit of the blue darker in a few areas, but
Looking
I
pretty
think we
sweet.
got it pretty close. It's pretty close to the right colors, it seems like.
It's definitely glowing.
Good. Neatly glowing, is that what you said?
Hmm.
Definitely glowing.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Alrighty. And also, you can see these kind of, I don't know if you can see with the black, it's a little harder. Can you see these ridges here that are happening when I put the paint on thick? So I want to go back and smooth out any of those that I see before they dry. Otherwise, they're going to leave those kind of ridges. They're going to dry that way. The acrylics, even though this is a fluid acrylic, it's not like a self-leveling, so it's definitely going to leave those marks, and you don't really want that. I mean, unless you want the texture on your canvas, I guess you could. But I find it looks better if you just smooth those out. So. See, like right in here, I think I need a little bit of white to do that, to go back over it. I can see the line of the transfer right here a little bit. I'm just going to do that before I quit. And you can see how I'm kind of turning the canvas too. That helps me get a better angle. So, and I'm going to paint the sides black also, but I'm not going to do it tonight. Can't tell where my lines are. Let's see. Just goes around like that. I'm having a hard time with this light. Can't tell where that is. Don't want to take off too much of it. I think that's about right. Might come in just a little bit more. He's so upset. All right, so my 2 hours was 2 hours and 47 minutes. Mark didn't doubt it for a minute. He knew. He knew.
Oh no, these flowers never go 2 hours.
I know. I thought it would be easier because it was, I don't know, it looked easy to me, but that blue turned out to be trickier to blend in into the yellow than I anticipated.
Okay, so I need to be present when you have these conversations with yourself. Obviously, you're not getting good advice.
I'm not giving myself good advice. Is that what you're saying?
Was it the same time you bought the puppy treat fanny pack?
Hey, now. One of the online classes that I'm signing up for required it, so. Puppy training class. You had to have a fanny pack. Yeah, he's definitely gonna have to be left alone a little bit in small sections from time to time because he's just flipping out tonight. All right, I think I'm gonna call that good. I'm sure there's other stuff that I could do to it, but yeah, I mean, I can already see things that I would change, but I did want to do one thing down here though. I do need to, but there's some other small things that I might just blend, some other stuff that I'm not going to because I'll be here another hour. So I'm going to just add some of the white along here so that it makes it obvious that this is separate from that's flipped up. Anywhere that these whites are folded over will help to kind of emphasize those a little bit. Let me get to that puppy because he's freaking out. Give him lots of cuddles tonight. He's gonna crash hard. Maybe I'll get some sleep tonight. Who knows? Could happen. Just blend it back through that because it was a little bit harsh. All right, I'm gonna stop there and sign it with get a round. Get this white here. Be sure you add water when you sign. Gonna need it to thin out your paints. All right, there we go.
So I was just thinking, you know how they can make a loan harder?
Uh-huh.
Give each contestant a little puppy.
Make what harder?
The show alone.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes, it's 2 hours. I'm tapping out.
Make them work some video equipment while they're at it. Then for sure. I'm gonna get some of this yellow oxide here, glaze, and just right here, I need this to stand out a little bit better. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of the yellow along here. And along here. Poor puppy, he is just freaking out in the other room. Okay. See how that makes those stick out a little bit better. All right, let's go. Thanks, guys, for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Sorry about the puppy stuff. We'll hopefully do better next week. And yeah,
Right.
like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're going to be back next Tuesday. And then starting in September, we'll be back starting a few Saturdays. Not going to do all Saturdays, but we'll be starting to kind of gradually add Saturdays back into our schedule. So be looking for that. I'll be posting my schedule this week or next, probably this week, posting what we're going to be painting in September here on YouTube. So, and over on Crowdcast and Patreon. So you can check those out too. And if you want to sign up for my newsletter and stay in touch with everything we're doing and get extra puppy video or pictures and all that good stuff, we've got a newsletter that's available on my website at thankfulart.com. So you can check that out there and get some free bonus material while you're at it. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.